Well, hello, General Hospital Daily Recap fans. Today's daily recap is for Thursday, January the 25th, 2024. Thursday, January the 15th. Well, the smooth operator, Stephen A., aka Brick, hit the scene today. Boy, is that man a flirt. Yes, but it makes you want to date him. And actually, Jordan reached out to him because of his special talents, right? Because she knows, what he does for Sonny. And she's like, we got a file on you. And he's like, oh, really? you know, and he was hitting on her, and she was just like, let's stick to business. you know, and actually, I think Stephen A lost a little weight. And so then she was saying, she's looking into a situation, and he goes, what is this situation? That's need to know. You don't need to know. It's better for you if you don't know. And he says, because first off, she said, this, you must be, keep confidence, so you have to handle confidentiality, be trustworthy, blah, blah, blah. All of the above. She says, I know how to do that. But yet, you don't want to tell me what, I'm looking for. She goes, I need you to find my contact. My contact didn't show up, and it's vital that I find him. And I'm thinking, how's he going to do that? Jordan, right? So he says, okay. And something about, you know, there's a certain agency, because he goes, why don't you just go to the PCPD? She goes, this needs to be off the books. I'm doing this off the books. PCPD can't know because they can't be implicated in this. And he goes, but I can, you know. And so she was end up saying, he goes, now, what agency doesn't need to know that the PCPD may have been involved? And she said the feds. He says, okay, so without you giving me enough information, I can only do so much. So he says, you want somebody found? I should be able to find them. He says, anything deeper than that? Oh, I'm gonna have to know. She goes, I have a tight inner circle. He says, well, in order for me to get deeper, I'm gonna have to be in that inner circle. But for now, I'm sure I could find your man. And he says, give me your phone. And she says, I'm not giving you my phone. And he goes, give me your phone number. So she goes, oh, okay, I could do that. So she texted him her phone number. Although, hello, she called him to meet her. He should have her phone number. Even if she just texts him, he should have her phone number, right? You know what? That's just writing that they don't want us to think about. Come on, don't talk about that. Things like that, right? So then we also have Finn and Elizabeth in Finn's office. That Martin's coming because Finn's trial starts tomorrow. Thank goodness. Now they don't have all the information. They still don't know who that other doctor was. Martin is saying he's going to call Sam to get Sam on the case tonight to try to find that oncologist. Because let's face it, the trial's not going to be a 1 day trial, right? So they can get on it, start getting on it now. And Finn and Elizabeth tell him about, that Mr. Muldoon saw another doctor, saw another doctor before, 2 months before he came to see him. And chances are that doctor who spoke hypothetically only would have customarily referred him to see an oncologist. So they need to find that oncologist to, for one, see if Mr. Muldoon even did go see him. But for two, if he didn't, there's still going to be a record showing he was referred to one, right? But that would be at actually his original doctor's office versus the oncologist, because even if he never called, the oncologist wouldn't even know him or have a record of him. So anyway, bottom line, I think that's going to be what gets him, what wins him the case is, bottom line, the man clearly did not take his health seriously, and it progressed. So bottom line, it progressed even worse. It wasn't Finn malpracticing, just overlooking. No, the man chose months ago not to get, further testing. So that was interesting. So now Laura goes to the PCPD and she tells Dante and Chase what she learned from Heather. And they were talking about Heather is not reliable. Heather's not a reliable source. And she goes, you know what, guys, you're 100% right. And they said, Heather doesn't do nothing unless there's an agenda. And Laura said, I honestly think her agenda is she wants her daughter close to her because she knows Esme is going to do something and it's going to be bad. And so they were like, well, you know what? I can pull her in. She goes, even if you pull her in on, made up something for questioning. He says, this will give us time because Dante's already pushing to have Robert, trying to talk to Robert to have the charges reinstated against Esme, right? So they just want, camera's blurry. Come on, camera. Yeah. They just want to give more time for that. So Dante agreed to go ahead and, try to find Esme. So then we have, going to try to find Esme, Robert and Diane. Oh, Robert was planning a nice romantic date for her because, he likes Diane. Robert just want to be Robert, right? And say whatever he wants to say and have Diane feel the way he wants to feel. And he should know that's not going to work on Diane. Come on, Robert. What's wrong with you? So Diane walks into the Savoy because this is at the Savoy. And she's walking in and we got Alexis and Sonny coming in behind her. And Robert looked like, wait, what? So they all walk in. She walks over to him and he goes, you bought the Calvary? And she chuckled. She says, I ran into them outside. No, they didn't come with me. Right. So they go over to the bar and they sit down talking. Apparently, Alexis was running late, but she ran all the way because she wanted to say goodbye to Spencer. And Sonny said that, he actually just missed Spencer, the party itself, but he had already said goodbye to Spencer. So, you know, anyway, they sit down and they're just talking. And then she talked about, she's worried about the situation with Christina, but she's trying to be hands off because he says, oh, I talked to Christina yesterday. She goes, really? How is she? How are things going? And he's like, you don't talk to our daughter? She goes, I do talk to them, but I try to give them space. So I don't talk to them on a daily basis. Okay, so he's like, yeah, because he doesn't talk to Christina on no daily basis either, right? So anyway, they both get a text. And Alexis got a text from Molly, Sonny got a text from Christina. So they're getting ready to leave the Savoy. But anyway, Robert and Diane, he had a, like, you're working with this notorious, brought that up criminal again, and he's guilty. And she goes, you know what? Doesn't matter what I may personally think. As a defense attorney, she goes, and by that statement, I'm not saying anything one way or another. But as a professional defense attorney, every case that I represent any of my clients, I'm going to do it at the best of my ability because that's my obligation. And I happen to be very good at my job. And so he says, yeah, but even somebody that's a racketeer and this, and she goes, you know what? That's irrelevant. And he goes, he had Nika play Diane's favorite song. And he goes, would you like to dance? And she chuckled. She says, it's my favorite song. Did you arrange that? And he says, yeah, now let's dance. She goes, I don't want to dance. I want an apology. And he's like, an apology? Like, for what? So then she repeats the conversation that they had with his pompousness about her client. And he was going to win this case and bring that, all kind of adjectives for Sonny to justice, And she says, you know what, Robert? My client is innocent until proven guilty, and I'm his attorney. You stepped over a line because you still have to follow the evidence with whatever evidence you may or may not have, right? And so she says, and that's what I want the apology for. And he ended up telling her, he goes, I apologize for the way I said it, but I don't apologize for what I said. I have been trying to put Sonny Corinthos behind bars for years. And she said, Robert, I don't want to change you, and I can't change you. She said, but it's like a personal vendetta, and that's what I have a problem with against Sonny. Because Robert had the nerve to say, Sonny works outside the confounds of the law, and I work within the law. So she looked at him and she says, okay. He goes, and you talk about, it seems personal for me. She said, he's your client, yet you take things very personally. It's almost like he is your friend. And she looked at Robert and she said, Sonny Corinthos absolutely is my friend. And he is my client. And Robert looked at her. She says, now, is that going to cause a problem for you? And he just looked at her. And then she goes, you know what, Robert? Let me put it to you like this. You have covered up many of Anna's missteps with the law. And he looked at her. She says, and you have aided, looked the other way, and ignored a lot of Miss Holly Sutton's illegal activity. Oh, because Holly's still a little grifter. She still is, right? Little con artist, little thief. Okay. What did Robert do with that Ice Princess necklace? He had it, keeping it hidden from the law. But he says, I only work within the confines of the law. I said, not where Holly's concerned, you don't, And he would have. He went, though, more out of bounds with Holly than Anna ever requires him to do. Anna usually only asks for favors, for him to call people, for her to get stuff. Holly, oh, they had the whole elaborate plan for her to pretend to be burned and, the whole 9 yards, ambulance taking her away. And he was helping this woman escape police custody. But he works inside the confound of the law. So shut up, Robert, shut up. And so he goes, well, you act like, I've been the law for every person I dated. She says, I'm not saying that. She said, but you definitely pick and choose. So all I'm saying is, you have your reasons for certain things you do. I'm not judging you, because I would never judge you. So don't judge me for representing my client to the best of my ability. So they ended up, believe it or not, they ended up striking a compromise. So they strike a compromise. And then we have, let's see, Laura, Dante and Chase and Laura. They're looking for Esme. So they go to, as you know, Alexis's office, and they check Esme's office. She's not there. They said, well, maybe Alexis has seen her. So they go into Alexis's office, and there is Kevin on the floor, still knocked out. She actually, had nobody found him, Kevin would have been killed. I mean, he would have died. Esme didn't care, right? So he's still unconscious, and Laura's like, Kevin, Kevin, oh no, Kevin. And so they get an ambulance, get him to GH. They're still, Chase is still investigating the office, and they call Alexis, and who Alexis was at TJ and Molly's, right? And I'm going to get to TJ and Molly. Um, Alexis comes, and they don't let her in the office so she doesn't contaminate the scene. But Chase is like, did you see Esme Prince here today? She says, yes, I saw Esme. As I was leaving, Esme was coming. So I guess she was working a later shift today, because I didn't understand that. Or maybe she said she would have clocked out after I left. I think that's what she said. She would have clocked out after I left, because Alexis left earlier. So anyway, Chase has that vase that she hit Kevin with, and he goes, you recognize this? She goes, yeah, I normally keep that on the credenza. And he has it in a plastic bag. And one of the other detectives comes with this note from Esme's office, and it's from the nanny, Maggie, wanting her to come visit. Soon as I saw that note, I said, that's a lie. That's a plant. Esme planted that there. For once, she never would have had that note at the office. That note would have been at her house, right? So that was in a plastic bag. And then what happened is, so they leave Chase. We get back to GH. Laura, the doctor, they have Kevin, hooked up. And Laura asked, could she see him? And he said, just for a minute. She goes in and she's crying, saying, Kevin, I need you. Please come back to me. We have so much stuff that we haven't done. And well, yeah. So anyway, she comes out crying. Well, not boohooing, but wiping her tears. And she asked Dante, any word on Esme? And he says, well, we just got word, we got a hit on her credit card, bought a one-way ticket to Toronto. And Laura says, Toronto? And then I think Dante says, what, wait, the nanny lived in Toronto, right? And so somehow Chase with the note, it had the Toronto address, right? So anyway, Dante's like, or who called? How? Because somebody told Dante about the name. Maybe Chase was talking to Dante, right? And saying, there's this note from a Maggie Fitzgerald. And Dante's like, that's the nanny. That used to be Esme's nanny. And so he says, well, Chase is telling Dante, well, she got a note from the nanny. The nanny wants her to come visit. We checked her credit card, and she's bought a one-way ticket to Toronto. So Dante tells Laura she's headed to Canada. And I thought, she ain't headed to Canada. Because for one, she was tearing up Alexis's office. And I remember when she looked at the card, it was the business card for the invader, and it had Alexis's name on it. I said, okay, she used her personal card to throw them off the trail to Canada. Well, she's actually on a plane. She's probably on the exact same plane Trina and Spencer are on to Paris. Now, Alexis, because Chase asked Alexis, is anything else missing? She goes, well, without me being able to go into my office, I really can't tell. But guess what? Even if she could go into the office, she had that credit card up under some files, right? In the credenza. She wouldn't really readily know that credit card is missing. It's not going to be until either the credit card gets flagged, because if Esme took it with her it's going to get flagged internationally. I don't think Esme's that stupid. She's good enough at covering her tracks, except that charge is going to appear in that credit card, but only on the statement at the end of the month. She would have done what she needed to do by then. So anyway, we know she's eluding the police, Esme is, right? Remember I said she's super sleuth. She just stumps everybody. So now we have they bring Molly and calls TJ to come over, and he comes over to Christina's, and he's like, "What's going on? You know, what's happening?" And Molly tells him Christina is pregnant. Oh, and he's so excited. He hugs Molly. We're gonna be parents. We're gonna be parents. And then he hugs Christina. Thank you. We're gonna be parents. Thank you, Christina. Thank you. And oh, he's so happy. And oh, they were talking about what they could do with the baby, and they're gonna get, talking about feeding the baby bananas. Yeah, mushy talk. And then TJ stops and he kind of gets solemn. And Molly says, what's wrong, TJ? He said, we were this excited the first time around with our first surrogate. And look at what happened. And so Molly looked like, oh. And so Christina's like, come here, guys, come here. So she sits them down on the couch, because remember, Christina's older than both of them by probably 3 years, possibly 4. She really is. And so she says, listen, guys, whatever happens, we're going to get through this together. Even if the worst happens, we're going to get through this together, and we'll try again when we can. Right? Either way, we're going to enjoy this and not dwell on the negative. So, okay, they agree. So now remember I said Alexis got a text, Sonny got a text, and TJ texts Jordan. So Alexis and Sonny show up together because they were at the Savoy. And the girls were surprised that their Christina's father, Molly's mother showed up together. And he goes, yeah, we were at the Savoy at a bar. And they're like, you guys were at a bar? You went to a bar together? So Alexis goes, we ran into each other. And then Sonny said something about his company, his great company. And she's like, no, I didn't say that. Like, oh yeah, she can't resist my great charm or company. And she goes, that's not what I said. Right? It was funny. Alexis, she could be funny. So then Jordan comes to the door and he goes, Mom, because remember Jordan, she met with Brick and she says, look, I know I invited you over here, but I got to go, just get to work. And I didn't tell you this about Brick. When he walked out, he looked at the phone number. He goes, gotcha. Okay, Brick, what you gonna do? So anyway, they tell their parents that Christina's pregnant and everybody's happy. Alexis is hugging everybody. And initially Molly says, you're not excited because you don't approve. She goes, no, Molly, that's not it. I am excited. I do approve. I support both of you. And she hugs both of her girls. And I'm happy for you. And, Sonny had hugged Christina and Jordan hugged TJ. And then everybody kind of exchanged hugs. But anyway, then Alexis gets that call from Chase. And Dante, or from Dante, one of the two, saying that her office had been, Kevin was found on the floor and they needed her down at her office. So she tells everybody, I'm sorry, I have to go. Don't let this. Sonny's like, what happened? She goes, just something to do with work, but it's a situation that I have to take care of. And they're kind of looking like, you leaving on this with this great celebration we got going on? She goes, but I'm happy for everybody. Please keep celebrating. Girls, I'm happy. And she looked at Molly. I love you, Molly. She kissed her, and Christina was across the room by Sonny. She goes, and I love you too, but I have to go. So they all kind of look, and she rushes out the door. But then Christina has some non-alcoholic champagne, so they all get a glass, and Sonny does a toast about parents and parenting and blah, blah, blah. So they all, kind of raise the glass to the toast. So that pretty much is it for GH today. I'm going to go to comment corner, and at comment corner, let me bring this up. We have Tom. Tom says firing a whistleblower opens the company to a lawsuit, especially since he hired the other insider trader to be the editor. And then Ron says Carly is not the right one for the company. It does, it was done to control her, and she will see it soon. Georgia says, anything you do on your channel is great. I love your recaps, whether it's about yesterday or today's or tomorrow's. Thank you, Daily Recap Lady. Well, thank you, Georgia. And then LaShawn says, Spinelli's doing too much. Now, why do Spinelli and Felicia keep talking about the secret? Maxie will find out. Yes, she will. Or look, who already said I overhear? James is going to overhear Spinelli and Felicia talking and tell Maxie. I really hate how they act like Maxie is destitute. And LaShawn says, I hate Kevin got hurt, but Esme was fine until Spencer gave Ace away. Burn it down. Molly is so annoying. 9 months of Molly shaking my head. She's going to control everything. Chrissy's pregnant. I don't care. She was so pushy, but didn't want to look. Make it make sense. Heather's crazy. She wants Esme with her. Who in their right mind wants their child in jail? Heather was just telling her to run. So I'm mad. I'm so mad Spencer did this. Now he's gone. I'm glad Josh said it. Make it make sense. Josh needs to stay in her lane. Esme's out for blood. Where's Taggart, her forever dad? That is so true. Trina, there was this big party. Trina's going out of the country for 4 months. Where was Taggart? They just write him so haphazardly. And he's supposed to live in the same town. And then Skononafo says, I agree, Daily Recap Lady, Dr. Lady or DR Lady. I want Maxie at Crimson. She deserves it. And then Jackie says, anyway, what kind of BFF was Olivia to Carly? And Sherry says, a picture's worth 1,000 words, is what I've always heard. Whatever you do will be great, Daily Recap Lady. Thank you, Sherry. Dacia says, Esme is breaking probation because she was getting ready to get on a plane. Yes, she is. And Annette says, love hearing you no matter what. 237 Hardy says, you do what you need to do, Daily Recap Lady. It's shocking. Oh, you know what? Listen, I'm not going to read your comment. Good comment, though, but everybody else can read it. And then Clemmy says, ignore the flack. You have a life and a job. And then Jackie says, girl Heather has a plan. So it's all about, what her plan is that she has a plan. That's so true. And Lucy says, hello, Daily Recap Lady. Can't believe Christina is pregnant. I hope it works out. But this is daytime drama, so we'll see. Christina isn't the most honest person. Yeah, I think they are going to make it work out. And then Jackie says, yay, no pics is okay. All right. And then Dacia, I told you I'll have to do, one collage for my thumbnail for the video. So, but it'll just be one. Let's see. Dacia says, there's a rumor that Joss is sleeping with her cousin. Dex is the son of Jerry Jacks, and Jasper Jacks is returning to GH. And I am says Michelle Stafford was the best Nina. I think so too. She was a great liar and a manipulator when she rolled around in that wheelchair. She was hateful to Sam when she dated Cyrus, but I loved her crazy. I agree. Nina has adopted all of Nell, and her mother's cruelty, vindictiveness, and narcissism. Yep. Sandy says Molly is going to be in pain. Good luck, Christina. Or going to be a pain. Good luck, Christina. Poor Uncle Kevin. Esme says hello. This Chemo Beauty says, hi, Daily Recap Lady. I don't think Maxie would help Carly with Crimson because Nina is family and her loyalty is to her. If Carly asked Maxie for help, she'd probably politely decline. Nina is James's family. James, only one of her three kids is Nina related to. So I honestly, yes, Maxie treats Nina as family, but Carly too. You know, Carly and Maxie have a longer history, and it hasn't been adversarial. Now, Maxie and Elizabeth has been adversarial because what Maxie did to Lucky. But no, I could see Maxie. They keep bringing up the money, the money, the money. Maxie's gonna do something, and she's gonna get more money, which is what she needs. P. Merrill says maybe not once she learns what Nina has done. She and Sam are good friends, and Nina kept Drew away from Scout. Nicole says, "Ooh, Nicole, what girl? What word is that you using?" Carly is Maxie's family biologically through Bobby. I thought about that and thought about that. No, no, she's not. Nasty Nina is only Maxie's family through marriage, which was annulled since James and Britt are both dead. Well, yeah, because Maxie was widowed. Maxie needs money. She she'll help Carly. Carly would treat her better than Nasty Nina did. And this Chemo Beauty said to Nicole, oh, I wasn't aware Maxie was related biologically. Please explain. I know Maxie has BJ's heart, which was Bobby's adoptive daughter, but how are Carly and Maxie biologically related? Missing something. Yeah, they're not biologically related. And then I am says, Molly is as annoying and judgmental as Alexis and Rick. Why do they never make her father ever visit, call, telegram, text her, nothing, right? I prefer not seeing her. Molly is intrusive and a mean girl when it comes to Sam. Really? I didn't notice that. Um, the old Chrissy would have shut that whining down. Trina is becoming Portia more and more. Spencer may be spoiled and not have a job, but he always tries to be a better person with a slick attitude. Trina is so busy gloating to pay attention. Kevin thought he was a step ahead of Esme, but she knew she could convince him. And then Maxie's overspending, living off credit cards, etc. Moved into a free house. Well, the house not free to get ahead. Dante isn't charging her a lot to stay there. If anything, Felicia and Matt should have sit her down with an accountant to make a budget. By the way, is Kristen Storms wearing her own personal clothes? Somebody says that she is. That's interesting to me. I noticed a few episodes ago she was wearing an expensive necklace in yoga wear, casual wear. I know that. She's at the job. I saw that too. Should Nina give Maxie a makeover for the professional role as a gift, for her professional role as a gift? I think Maxie going to Crimson as editor is a well-deserved promotion. Maxie has rebuilt her reputation and has a strong network team, and will be successful. I wish Drew would have asked Sam to head Crimson because she is co-owner. Sam knows Maxie has been struggling, so her asking Maxie to do double duty would be taking over. Wait, Maxie to do double duty or take over would be more organic. Um, Here's the thing. Maxie living off credit cards was not Maxie's bad planning. Remember everything that has happened to Deception. They the upper management has been the one not getting paid. Remember back when Sasha first had that scandal and was on drugs and the stock was tanking, and they actually, remember, they had to not get paid for months, and they had to forego their bonuses and their pay. Remember, Gladys wasn't going to sign that. She goes, no, no, Sasha needs to get paid. Maxie wasn't getting paid and still trying to keep this company afloat. Even Lucy was gone at that time too, trying to keep this company afloat. So she got spiraled into it. Now, Lulu's house is more expensive than the apartment she lived in. Dante told her, we will find a comparable rent for you to pay. He didn't say cheap. And like she said, the rent is more than her apartment because she talked to Felicia about it. And the utilities, everything is more when you're living in a house. It really is. And that is the truth. Your electric bill is more, water bill is more. Apartments, sometimes they're paying for that water bill for you or the gas bill or whatever, you know. So anyway, Maxie does need more money. And my thing is, even though she loves deception, she loves Crimson too. Miss Bumblebee says, I hope Trina Robinson ends up like Lily Rivera. Didn't Lily end up blown up in a bomb? I don't want that for Trina, right? And then she says, it makes me wonder, has Trina Robinson ever genuinely loved Spencer Cassadine, or is she just using him because he makes her feel the very best? I don't know. I think you call it first love, young love. You know, sometimes we don't love the right first love, right? Don't mean he's right for her, but your first love. Um, Catherine says Maxie needs to be paid what she's worth. I'm okay. Anna should be something as his aunt, helping as his aunt. I don't know what that comment meant. I am says daily recap lady. Uh, I appreciate all you do. Pictures or no pictures doesn't matter. Your livelihood is more important. Uh, than. Well, thank you so much, I am. I am says Esme is going to Paris. Of course. The real Esme truly doesn't care about getting Ace back. She is Ryan's daughter. Revenge is all she can think about. Esme stealing the intruder credit card instead of accessing her trust fund is interesting and silly. I know, uh, I know they are showing she is desperate, but didn't she tell Ava she had funds to locate? No, she was telling Ava had funds and could locate Nicholas. Why leave a trail of account for accounting to find? And accounting will find that charge. Esme is supposed to be diabolical. Ryan trained her to cover her tracks. It would have been smarter for her to print out all of the Cassadine known properties and businesses instead of heading to Paris. She's only heading to Paris for revenge, period. I think the old Nicholas is, I think old Nicholas is going to end up at Windermere or one of the Greek or their Greek island. Sweetness will will be graduating high school the next time we see him, full beard and tailored suit. That is funny. Raised by a butler. You know what I could see? Now remember, there was some wealthy person buying Windermere. I could see it being Nicholas and him right there on Spoon Island raising that boy and nobody thinking about it. But right now, Spoon Island is still, Ava still owns it because remember, the alarm went off when Esme broke in. So the sale hasn't happened yet. But whoever bought Spoon Island, they need to really finalize that, right? And aren't y'all happy they dropped that whole pikeman crap? Ugh, that was ridiculous. And then Mika Sandra says, Esme bought a ticket to Toronto. She's going to see Maggie. No, she's not. That's the decoy. P. Merrill says, once she accesses her trust fund, they'll know she has her memories back. Catherine says, why isn't Heather in Darkham? Darkham was for the criminally insane. They felt with all that serial killing she was done, oh, no, 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 you're going to go to Pentonville, okay? No more watercoloring, painting, sneaking out, going down, getting your burger. None of that. Darkham was like fun for her. She just was in and out of that place like she wanted to be. Catherine says, and so Laura is believing everything. You mean everything Heather's saying? Well, it did make sense. Heather is telling the truth. Um, Catherine also says, Kevin should have been working with Esme all along in case her memories return. All the years he researched his brother, and to me, he waited too long and should have known better. So, okay, she gets her memory back, and suddenly she's a new person. Doesn't make any sense. Well, she's not a new person. Suddenly she's her old self, right? Catherine says, this is what Christina and Molly should have agreed on prior. It's going to be a big mess. You mean I know Molly showing up with food and what you going to eat and everything else. And then Cindy says, as a psychiatrist, Kevin should have been one of the most qualified to notice that she had her memories back. He seemed so far removed from the family mess. He's not on screen as much. I wonder if he'll wake up and think he's Ryan. I hope not. I'm done with the whole Ryan mess, right? So is everybody else. Um, and Angela says he absolutely sucks at his job always. I am says, wow, that would be a good storyline for him to wake up as Ryan. No, but he could, right? And then P. Merle says to I am, please, no, no, no. If they bring Ryan back in any form, I'm done. I know Ryan needs to be done. Cindy says it sounds like a good idea, daily recap lady. It will make things easier on you while allowing more continuity in the comments for each episode. We all love your video so much. Thank you, Cindis. I am says true. P. Merle says, I'm kind of sad to see the pictures go since you stated clearly every day the date of the episode you are reviewing. I don't see the problem, but if it's easier, I concur. I just don't want you to feel bullied. I don't get bullied. Look, I don't get bullied. Your recaps are unique in that your pictures were always current. Thanks for keeping us all entertained. What I liked about the pictures, and then I'm going to go, is, when I watched other YouTubers, other recappers, one thing they don't really have, it was the pictures. They didn't. And I like the fact that I could talk to you, with the pictures popping in to my background, because to me it made the show come alive more. But looky here, I was able to get the recap in tonight. So you know what, everybody, the pictures something has to give. If I hear way more people saying they wish the pictures were back, then I was hearing people saying, how come you can't do it in the same night? Whichever whiners whine the most. Okay, so if more people say they need the pictures because they don't get to see the show, then I will go back to doing the pictures, and then the recap may be the next day. So we'll see, y'all. I'm flexible. Whatever. I'll be back for another daily recap tomorrow.